you please try to keep your questions topical. We will have another tech in here answering questions. So if you have any questions, please type those in and the tech will respond. Also, if you have specific questions or questions that may be a little off of the donations enhancements topics, we're happy to answer those questions. But I would ask that you give us a call on our support line or shoot us an email at support@churchwindows.com. Real quick before we jump into the topic itself, I'd like to go out to our website. And our website is really a great tool for you all as users to kind of get some more information without having to put in a support card, without having to send us an email. You can come out here at your leisure and look things up on your own. I usually recommend that people try to get out here at least once a week, see what's new, what's going on, what documents or movies we might have out there for you all. But the first thing I would like to show you at churchwindows.com is over here on the left side under this Using Church Windows bubble right here. Right below this bubble, we have a section on support. There's a lot of really good information out here. So the first thing I would like to show you is where is it? Conversion transition. So today's webinar, we're obviously talking about version 17. So one of the things or the requirements of version 17 is that you are converted to donations and accounting. So I'm assuming most of you are because you're here listening to this webinar today, but I want to just point this out to make sure we're all on the same page. Before you can install version 17, you have to be seeing donations and accounting on your main screen of Church Windows. Okay, that's only if you own it. Of course, if you don't own these modules, then you can ignore this. But if you open up Church Windows and you're seeing contributions or you're seeing financial, you have to get those modules updated to donations and accounting before version 17 will install for your Church Windows. Okay, so I'm not going to go into too much detail about this, but make sure you're seeing donations, make sure you're seeing accounting, and there's also some helpful documents here at our website if you haven't done that yet. Okay. Another thing I would like to point out over here under this Using Church Windows section is our support blog. The support blog is a organized, or it's a grouping of documents and movies that we've put together over the years and updated on our website. So the support blog allows you to really go in and search for, let's see if we can refresh it here. There it goes. Okay, so this is the support blog. You can type in a specific text, so say you want information on donations, for example. You could type in a specific word in donations like givers. And it's going to go out and it's going to find any documentation movies that include givers as the search, or you can come up here to the top and you can click on different modules and you can see what information we have on those specific modules. Okay, support blog, really great tool. You can come out here and look stuff up as need be. So let me get rid of my highlighter marks. Okay, the other thing I wanted to show you out on our website, it's something new that we're doing. It's these online videos. You're actually going to find it on the left side also, but it's going to be under Church Windows Training. Okay, so it's similar to like a Netflix page if you all have ever used the Netflix. This is a great tool. You do have to subscribe to it. It's $9.95 a month. But what it gives you is unlimited access to movies, past webinars. So say you can't always come to the webinars at a certain time, at our scheduled time. This is a great option. Okay, so if we click over here on Learn More and Subscribe, it takes us out to our video page where you can view movies as often as you wish or whatever movies you wish. But like I said, there is that $9.95 cost a month to have this subscription. So if it's in the budget, I would definitely recommend checking this out. There's just so much good information out here. Okay? Let's jump into our topic now. I think I've shown you what I thought would be helpful for you guys out on our website. Let me close this. All right, so you should be seeing our new Church Windows interface for version 17. All of the CDs have been mailed. So if you have updated to version 17, wonderful, you're right on track. If you haven't received the CD yet, keep an eye out for it. I believe they all ended up going out last week. So just keep an eye out. It should be on its way. But let's go ahead and click on donations here. All right, so donations module, this is going to look the same from what you're used to. Nothing's really changed here on the main screen for the donations module. One of the new features that I think is super helpful is some columns have been added to the pledge giving analysis report. So to pull up that pledge giving analysis report, we're going to go up to Reports and Export up at the top. We're going to click on Compare and Analyze, and then we're going to go down to the Pledge Giving Analysis Report. Okay, so this screen is really going to look the same. A big change is that the date range section is now going to be over here on the right as opposed to, I think it was up here before. But the options are still there, just some of the layouts on these tabs are going to be a little different. But let's go up to the Columns tab. So now, when you're on the Columns tab, you can see we now have this Gives with Family option, and we also have this Receives Statement option. So users I talked to before, they would go to print a donation statement and say somebody wouldn't get one. And as it turns out, they wouldn't get a donation statement because the individual didn't have their Receives Statement box checked in the Manage Givers window. So now we have that column available so you can see who's set to get a statement and who's set to not receive a statement. Also, the Gives with Family option, this is going to show you people that are checked Gives with Family or giving units that are set up as a family or individuals that give by themselves as an individual. They're not checked Gives with Family. So let's clear my drawings here and let's just go through the tabs here quickly to make sure that we get an appropriate report. So we're going to do a Giving Include of All, Givers tab. We do want to include visitors. We're also going to go to the Accounts tab. We don't really care about that for today, but we do have to go on the Columns tab and make sure that we have Gives with Family added to visible columns and Receives Statement added, just so you guys can see what it looks like. And we'll sort in alphabetical order, that's fine. All right, so bottom right, I'm hitting Print. And here is the report that's going to pop up with those columns. I'm going to go ahead and change this to Portrait and zoom in a bit for you all. Okay, so we now see our Gives with Family column and our Receives Statement column. Let me grab my highlighter. Okay, so first individual we have is Beth Lee Adams. Referencing real quick, we can see that she is not checked Gives with Family and she's actually not checked to receive a statement. So if we want Beth Lee to receive a statement, we have to go into Manage Givers and check her Receives Statement box. Okay, and I'll show you guys where that is in a minute if you're not sure. But if we look down, we have Giver 64, Mr. and Mrs. We can tell by their giver name that it's their family name. Okay, so they're both checked gives with family. Okay. Also, let's go down to Samuel. Samuel Allen. We see just an individual name here, and his gives with family box is set to no. Same thing. Here's a family name, Mr. and Mrs. Bob. We can see here their gives with family is set to NA. So that tells us that Mr. and Mrs. Bob are linked up as a giving unit. Okay. Let's go down. Here's Mr. and Mrs. Richard. We can see they're linked up properly. Now we have Carol and Chuck. Carol and Chuck, they have the same last name. Maybe they're husband and wife. But their gives with family, we can tell, is set to no. So that tells us Carol and Chuck, they give individually. Okay. Now if we saw one line that said, Mr. and Mrs. Chuck Armstrong, and it had an NA in their gives with family box, we would know that they give together. Okay. Also, same thing with received statement. Here we have Richard. His received statement is set to no. If we want Richard to receive a donation statement when we print them, if he meets our criteria, we have to go in and change his received statement from a no to a yes. So we have to go check his box. Okay. So we're going to look at Beth Lee, and we're also going to look at Giver 202, Richard. And I'm going to show you where you can check those boxes. So we're closing out of here, we're closing out of our pledge giving analysis, and we're going to go right in the middle here and click on Manage Givers. Okay, so first person that came up is Miss Beth Lee here. And if you look off to the right, right here on this name tab, let me grab my highlighter, we can see that her box receive statement is not checked. Okay, so if we want her to receive a statement, we have to come in here and check that box. So the receive statement box, it's still in the same place. It's always been over here, but we now have the option to go in and run a report on those people. I also wanted to show you Richard. Here's Richard, Giver 202. We look over to the right, we see his receive statement box is not checked. No biggie, we'll come in and check it. So now when we go print those donation statements, he's going to get one. Okay? Let's go on to the new feature we have for campaign querying. This is a brand new feature in here. It's available in a couple reports. It's available in the pledge giving analysis, the giving comparison, and the donation statement report. Okay, so let's open back up that pledge giving analysis. And I want to show you where you can find this campaign query option. It's going to be on the Accounts tab. Okay, so now whenever you run a pledge giving analysis, you have the option to just jump to this Accounts tab, and up here at the top where it says Campaign, hit the down arrow and you can select from any campaigns that you have set up in donations. So I've set one up just for today's webinar. It's Stewardship 2014. So the only thing we're going to do at this point is select that stewardship campaign. Okay. Now, when we hop back to the Options tab, if you look down here under Pledging Include, it's automatically grayed these two options out because we've selected our specific campaign, which is only going to pull people that have pledged to that campaign itself. Okay. Now, you still have options up here in the Giving Include area to customize or pick what you want. So it's going to default, the program is going to default to only those who gave. But for my example today, I'm going to choose all. Okay. Now you still have to go to the columns tab and you still have to pick what you want to see. So I don't really care to see gives with family or receive statement anymore. I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to move over all my pledging information fields that I like to use. Okay, perfect. Now I'm going to go up to the sort tab. I'm still sorting in alphabetical order. That's exactly what I want. Bottom right, I'm hitting print. Now I am going to switch this report back to landscape so I get all my fields on one neat page. And as you can see, by choosing my Stewardship 2014 campaign, I'm going to get a report that is only going to pull my individuals or the individuals that pledged to that campaign. Okay. So pretty basic, but it's a really nice tool. It's very easy. You don't have to go through each tab and set it up specifically and choose your accounts. You just hit the down arrow and choose your campaign that you want. And you still get a great giving pledging report. Okay. Another report that has this campaign drop box is the giving comparison. So I'm going to go up to Reports and Export, Compare and Analyze, and I'm coming down to the giving comparison. Okay, this report allows you to go in and compare date ranges. So I'm just going to do some quarterly dates in here. And 701. Okay, we're just going to do the 3 quarters. I have my date ranges inputted. I'm going to go up to the Givers tab, and yeah, I still want visitors. And now I'm going to go back to that Accounts tab. Okay, this is where, once again, you can hit the down arrow, choose your campaign that you want this report to look at. Double check your Columns tab, make sure you're seeing the fields you want. I'm getting the account name, amount given, and the amount difference given between those quarters that I put in back on the first screen. Sort tab, I want giver name. And here's my report. So even though there's not as many people, it's going to pull people that have given. Okay, so that's why we're just seeing these 5 giving units. But what it's going to do is it's going to tell me how much each individual gave within the quarter that pledged to my Stewardship 2014 campaign. And then it's going to give you totals down here too. Okay? Last report that has that campaign query option is the donation statement window. I think this is probably going to get used a lot here in the donation statement window. So if you go up to Reports up at the top, click on Donation Statement. And the donation statement is going to default to only those who gave. That's fine. You know what? Let's change it to all because I don't have too terribly many people that have given to that campaign in my data. So we're going to leave that on all. Go up to the Givers tab. Yes, I want to include visitors. I'm going to exclude terminated people. Back up to that Accounts tab. Here's my campaign drop box again. I'm going to hit the down arrow, choose my Stewardship campaign. So when I run my statements, it's only going to look at people that have pledged to my Stewardship 2014 campaign. I'm going to go to the Sort tab. Yeah, we'll leave it on giver name order. That's fine. And I'm going to hit Next. Okay, so this is a new feature with version 17. When you go into the donation statement window, the first screen that pops up, that's where you go in and you pick who you want to give a statement to. You hit Next, and then this screen is going to be what your statement's going to look like. Okay, so statement layout, I'm going to use the windowed envelope. That is the default layout. Okay. Bottom right, I'm going to hit print. And now I'm only going to get statements for people who have pledged to my Stewardship 2014. Okay, so these are only statements for pledgers. Now, while we're in here, another feature of version 17 is this summary section. Let me highlight it for you. Okay, this is new. This is going to give you quarterly totals for your giver, and it's also going to give you monthly totals. You have the ability to turn this on or off or add it to other statements that you might have already designed in the past, but the option is now there. Okay, so this will give you, month of January, how much was given that went to a pledge, how much was given that was non-pledged, and it's also going to give you a total for the month along with your quarterly totals. Okay, and then those also be grand total down here too, as you can see. This is also a new feature. A lot of people like to see this monthly and quarterly section. You have the opportunity to add that. If you want, you can remove the detail section up here. So say when you go to print your statements at the end of the year, you no longer wish to see every single transaction that came in for that person because it takes up too much paper. Of course, you can go into the Statement Designer, turn the detail off, and just show this monthly, quarterly summary section. Okay, now let me show you where you can do that. I'm going to close out of the preview. And back up at the top where it says Windowed Envelope, we're going to hit that Statement Designer button. Alright, so this is where the new quarterly section option is going to be. Okay, so you can come in here and you can remove the check mark if you don't like the new quarterly section or you don't care to see it. Uncheck the box and it will remove it from down below. You can also go into this Edit Quarterly section and you can actually pick and choose, be pretty specific how you want that section to look. What columns you want to see, fonts, but lots of customizing here. So I'd recommend going in and playing with this. You can't ever overwrite the default statement layout of Windowed Envelope, but you can come in and play and make new ones and save those and see what you think. All right. And then there is one more thing I want to show you that's new for donations, but it has to do with membership and donations. We're getting close to running out of time, but I did think it was important to touch on this. Now, from membership, you have the option to export donations information. Okay, so I just want to show you where you can find that. If you have questions, you can, of course, call us or shoot us an email, but I felt it was important to show you where to find that. So we're going to hit Reports, Reports Directory Export. And we're not going to put in any criteria here. We're just going to click Next. But I want to show you, see if I have one in here. Make a new one real quick here. Donations, reports, whoops. Select fields. Now, from running a report in membership, you have all of these donations fields to export now with a membership report. Okay, or to create with a membership report. You can export them too, but you can also just generate a report. So these are all of the fields you now have the options to pair with membership. Okay, before you didn't have these. So if you don't have access to membership, you just work strictly in donations, this might be good information to give to maybe who works in membership if they ever need it. It's here. But it's just another great feature of version 17. You can now pair membership queries with donations information. Okay, or say you need a list of all of your members that pledged and how much because you want to send out, thank you letters or something like that. You could come in here to membership and do that export right here. Okay, not going to get into too much detail on that today. We don't have enough time. We might be doing that in a later webinar. It's a possibility, but I felt it was important to at least show you this. Okay. Let me hop over to questions and see how questions are coming along. All right, let's see here. Oh. All right, Marla looks like she's got a handle on a lot of these questions. Thank you, Marla. Let's see what else we have. Um, Anna is asking, can you limit how much a person can see from the membership side? Say a person using membership, you don't want to have access to giving information. Anna, of course you can do that. That's all done in security. It's set up specific to a login. So you'll want to click admin and go into security. You have to have access to the security screen with your specific login. But yes, you can most definitely come in here to security, and you can set up by going to the different tabs here across the top and either giving someone access to membership, not donations and not accounting, or vice versa. But it's all very customizable in here. All right. Well, you're welcome. We'll hang out for maybe a couple more minutes, see if any more questions come in. If so, we can answer those. If not, I hope you got some helpful information today for the last 25 minutes. All right, we have a question here coming in from Catherine. On the giving statements, we do quarterly reports. However, the total pledge only shows total pledge for the date of the statements. Parishioners want to know their total pledge for the year. How do we do this? Catherine, what I recommend, or when you're doing your statements for quarterly, is always starting at like the first of the year. So if you're doing third quarter statements, you want to run them 01/01/2014 through 12/31/2014, or through 9/30/2014. But you are correct, the date range that you use is going to be specific to what your pledge amount is going to be. So, for example, if you have a lot of annual pledgers, those annual pledgers, if you don't run your statements for the whole year, the pledge amount isn't going to show. So that's where it might be better to use a frequency of flat. But Catherine, if you have more questions on that, call me. I'm Rachel. We can talk through it more, maybe give you some options. Candy, we have gone in and changed some times for the webinars. We're trying to give people some more flexibility on times. We are just kind of experimenting with the time changes, seeing if it was working better for people. Priscilla, your question regarding moving people from donations to membership, that's going to be best with a support call. It's a little more involved and might take some time to explain. So Priscilla, please feel free to give us a call. We'd be happy to explain the process for that. Yeah, Priscilla, feel free to give me a call. We can walk through it. I can give you an explanation on how to move those people over. Paul, I'm just reading over your question. That's going to be best handled with a support call too. That's a little more in depth for our donation enhancements webinar today. Just give me a call. I'd be happy to walk through it with you, or discuss some possibilities with you. Darlene, reading your question about saved batches, please give us a call, shoot us an email. we'd be happy to look into that for you too. Yeah, sorry to be kind of short, guys, but today's just on the enhancements topic. So the more specific questions, those would really be best handled with a call into us or an email. My name is Rachel Klein. Feel free to call. You can ask for me. I'd be happy to help you, Paul. Um, Sherry, if I'm understanding you correctly, there are preset statement layouts in the donation statement window. You can go in and kind of look at the preset ones we have. There's already going to be fields set in there. And then from the default layout, you can, of course, go in and play around with fields, move things around, show things, hide things. Very customizable in the report designer there on the donation statement window. All right, guys, we're 30 minutes into the webinar. We should probably go ahead and close down. Thank you for attending. I hope the information that we covered today was helpful. Gave you kind of an insight into version 17 and some of the new capabilities it has. But if you have questions, call, give us an email. Also, make sure you're going out to our website, churchwindows.com, for up-to-date information. All right, I hope everyone has a great day. Thanks. Bye.